Hey guys, Matt Allen here. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin. Today I am bringing you guys along as we prep tackle for the springtime. Winter is coming to an end, spring is fast approaching, and we all know that when it gets to prime time, that is not when you want to be organizing and doing preparations with your tackle and your baits. So what I want to do today is sit down with you guys with some of my gear that I've been going through. That's what I was doing today. And I started finding problems, and I thought that you would want to know about it so you can get prepared ahead of time. So everybody organizes their tackle a little bit differently. What I like to do every spring is I build just a handful of boxes that are going to be the key things that I take everywhere that I go. So today I wanted to get those boxes pulled together, and what I found is I've got all sorts of problems, and that's exactly why I'm doing this in February instead of March or April. The boxes that are most important to me, I always carry a swimbait box no matter where I go, an assorted hardbait box, a box of treble hooks and split rings, and then a box of my regular hooks, my jig heads or swim bait heads, bear, worm hooks, that sort of thing, my terminal tackle. Those boxes are always going to be ready. Whether I'm in my boat, Tim's boat, traveling on the road, I'll always have that stack ready to go. And then depending on the lake that I'm going to, I can get my other assorted tackle pulled for a given day. But with those ready, I'm always in business. So this first box, this was the one I was putting together today. This is my swim bait box that I'm just always going to have. Keep it really simple because it's not designed to be perfect. It's designed when I'm on the road or on Clear Lake or traveling or jumping into Tim's boat. If I get in a pinch and we get around big fish, I've got something that will work. So I've got the bait sanities. You guys know I like those. I've got a couple of those in here. I've got a bunch of S waivers in both sizes, a triple trout, Sneaky Pete's a new one I've been playing with, a couple of bull shads, and that's it. Like literally that's it. I take those baits and I pile them in one box and it's just ready to go for the whole spring. Now, as I'm doing that, I'm discovering problems like this. No hooks. One hook. This is why we're doing this now. But I'll get that box dialed in and it'll be set aside. Now the next box that's super important to me is treble hooks. I keep a huge stock of treble hooks and I go through them constantly because between brand new hooks and a hook sharpener, I'm fiddling with hooks all day, every day. My hooks, my clients' hooks. I want everything sticky, sharp. That's the most important thing. If you can do everything right, you can buy expensive rods, expensive tackle, drive to the best fisheries, show up with dull hooks and lose all your opportunities. You don't want to do that. So I keep an array of hooks. As much as you see here, there's a ton of hooks, but it's actually very, very simple. I keep owner ST36s, which is an owner 1X. And then I keep a ST56, which is an owner 3X. Then I keep Gamakatsu EWGs, which is a tipped in point. And then I keep that Aaron Martin's Finesse Nano Treble, the one that we use for jerkbaits. There's a handful of oddballs in here, but that's essentially what the entire box is. And then a big pile of split rings. That's it. Now the reason you see so many compartments is because I might be throwing a little tiny crankbait or a huge swim bait. So I might be using a 3/0 hook or I might be using a little tiny hook. But the concept is that simple. I basically have 4 kinds of hooks in my box. But as I got in here today, I'm finding all sorts of either low compartments or completely empty compartments. So it's time to put in an order. Same with swim bait heads. I found a bunch of empty slots in there. Here's probably the most depressing. And I mean, I'm beating a dead horse telling you to do this before the season arrives, but I've got A-rigs in here, left over from last season. Apparently the last time I was out, I was in a hurry. I have just a rusty disaster. I mean, it's headed to the trash. They're all ruined. I mean, And it's a little bit of rust is not going to be the end of the world, but when every single swivel is so rusted that your blades don't want to turn or your hooks have weakened, this was a mistake. You've got to be careful at the end of the season. You don't want to leave baits that have salt on them anywhere near any of your metal. Go through your tackle, make sure that you didn't, because you may be in my shoes where I'm replacing all of my A-rigs just as fast as I can before A-rig season is right on top of me. And then what else do we have? Chatterbaits. I found a hole. I have a whopping 1 black and blue chatterbait. You think I've got a problem? We're gonna get this stuff solved, but I'm glad I'm doing it now. And then last, I said assorted hard baits. This is typically what I'm gonna carry is a variety of lipless and square bills. And then I'll throw in some jerk baits too, and I haven't pulled my jerk baits yet, but my lipless and my square bills that are, and it's everything from bright chartreuse to really ghosty colors, natural colors, craw colors. It's not everything. It's not perfect. But again, what it is a sampling. It's a go box. So whether I end up in muddy water or crystal clear water or fish up shallow or fish that don't want to chase, I've got something that will work. But this is the time of year, again, that you want to go bait by bait and discover before you're on the lake that one's got no hooks on it. That this one, the hook points are shot. I need new hooks. If there's any rust. Now, I am so careful when I do this, and something I gleaned or I jumped right past. That swim bait box, notice, that's a Plano waterproof box. The rest of the year, it's not as critical. But springtime, your go boxes, put them in waterproof boxes because the conditions are changing. I mean, while we're sitting here doing this video, it's getting light, dark, light, dark. It's probably gonna rain on us while I'm still talking here. Put them in waterproof boxes. That way, if you get home late and you leave them in the boat, or you forget and you've got one out on the deck and you get some moisture, your stuff is gonna be okay. Now it works in reverse too. If you get moisture in there, it's gonna stay in there. So make sure that you're careful with those. If they do get water in them, take them in the house, dry them out. But in the springtime, it's critical. Your swim baits, your hard baits, your terminal. Are you kidding? A box of treble hooks is the most boring box in your boat and probably the most expensive box that you own. You do not want to get a bunch of rust in that thing. So again, waterproof boxes in the spring are a must. Run through all your tackle, not just baits. Go through your rods and reels. Check that the guides on all your rods are okay. Make sure if you spooled fluorocarbon, go check that fluoro. It's probably time for new line. It's a new year. It's a new season. Don't go out there on your first day and start breaking off with bad old line. And then the last thing that I want to add is that my soft baits never go in my go boxes. Notice this was all hard swim baits. There's no soft baits in there at all. That's not because I don't want soft baits. It's because trying to bulk pile a bunch of soft baits, whether that's swim baits or creatures or anything else, it turns into a mess. So those are better to pull for a given day. Grab the baits you need for that day. Don't make a go box out of them, because then when you need them, they're going to be kinked and messed up. But keep it simple. 3 or 4 boxes ready to roll will make your entire spring easier. Now granted, if you're a bank guy, 3 or 4 boxes, probably not the answer. 1 box. That 1 box should have a couple big baits, a couple reaction baits, some bear hooks, some swim bait heads, some treble hooks, some split rings, and maybe the tools to change those split rings or to sharpen those hooks in that box, ready to roll at all times. And that's all you're gonna need. After that, it's so much easier to just get the phone call, time to go fishing, grab your stack and run. It's not gonna take you an hour, 2 hours, or all night to prep tackle. Guys, this is gonna be a fun spring. You are gonna get out there and catch some big ones. Some of you already are. Prep that tackle now, because you know, just like we know, if you wait until April to discover that you're out of crankbaits or A-rigs or Kitex, they're gonna be back ordered forever. So do it ahead of time this year. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon.